Hello again. The question that I chose for today is whether there is a connection between countries or geographical areas to the rates of vaginismus in it. I'll start with a tiny explanation about vaginismus. Vaginismus is an unwanted spasm of the lower vaginal muscles as a reaction for penetration. So you're probably asking yourself, how could there be a connection between a muscle spasm and countries? That is a good question, and we will get to it in a second. A study showed us until today the main causes of vaginismus are biopsychosocial causes. Some of the topics that are brought up in the two studies that I chose are sexual abuse, religious family, conservative families, and also a lack of sexual education. Some of the causes showed so little numbers that you could almost completely erase them from the list of factors that can cause vaginismus. But a very, very strong one was specifically a lack of sexual education. Now, as we know, lack of sexual education is very well represented in more conservative cultures, more religious cultures. But why is having a religious or conservative family is not a factor when the lack of sexual education is? Now, you're not wrong by asking that question. Try to take as an example a young girl, a young Muslim or from an Orthodox Jewish family living in the US. Now, at home, she'll probably won't get the sexual education she needs, but she might have it in school. What I'm trying to say is that the sexual education given to us in Western countries at school might make up for the lack of sexual education that you get at home. But try to imagine the same situation with a Muslim or Jewish girl in a religious country when they go to school and they don't have the education at home and they don't get the education at school either. So where would they get it? Now, that factor does not imply, it doesn't say anything about the education at school, the general education. It could be a very high level education, but a more conservative country will be less likely to present these kind of topics to their students. And as they said, lack of sexual education equals higher rates of vaginismus in the country. That's why you can see very high rates in Arab countries, Muslim countries, of vaginismus than in Western countries. And for the end, I would just like to say that lack of sexual education can cause many things, from unwanted pregnancies and rape culture. This is a big deal. This is something that I believe that every country needs to, in its own ways, bring this delicate topic better to the table. Bring it up, speak more, let people ask questions, be curious. It saves lives. Thank you for listening.